Um, so I'm going to talk about the gift of fearlessness, especially in these times. In the little description I wrote up, I was using that quote from um, Franklin Roosevelt that was from his first inaugural speech when he came into the White House in 1933, and it was the Depression was in full swing, and people were scared. And he said that quote, among others, that quote, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." And I think he was just, trying to head off people going into some sense of panic that wasn't going to help anything. That like encouraging people, don't let fear get the best of you. That expression of something getting the best of you, it's like it takes all of your best energy is used up in panicking rather than being able to do something to help go in a better direction. So he was wanting people to not get paralyzed in the face of so much financial insecurity and all of that. And well, we seem to have a person in that position that is liking to instill fear rather than help allay fear, which is a seems unique in my experience of living in this country my whole life. So, I don't know if you're having those things come up regularly, but certainly I do as I read the news or listen to how it's landing for other people that I love. So, yeah, Eugene had talked about fear a few weeks ago, and then when they asked if I could teach tonight, I thought, yeah, I want to follow up on that. It just seems so important. So yeah, the Buddha goes this beyond that we don't have to fear there's nothing to fear but fear itself, to say, that we don't have to fear either, and that turning toward leaning in, our whole practice that we do is all geared towards making us braver about feeling what we feel. And in fact, the research supports the efficacy of meditation. That's one of the things that it does for us, is that it allows us to uh, be less afraid of feeling what's going on in here. Not finding ways to turn away from it, numb it, try to think our way through it, or instead of letting ourselves feel it. So I wanted to start. I think the last time I was here, I read from this sutta, and I want to start with it again because I feel like I can't hear this enough right about now. It's the Arming Oneself Sutta. Yeah, and it's the Buddha talking in first person in this way that I don't remember hearing in other suttas. That's very it makes me feel more like the Buddha was like us. He started from a place where he was like us. Anyway, I'll just read it. You'll see what I'm pointing to. Fear is born from arming oneself. So that line, just that, for starters, that you just expect that we arm ourselves because we're afraid. If we arm ourselves, we do it because we're afraid. But this is turning it around, that we arm ourselves and then we become afraid. So fear is born from arming oneself. Just see how many people fight. I'll tell you about the dreadful fear that caused me to shake all over. Seeing creatures flopping around like fish in water too shallow, so hostile to one another. Seeing this, I became afraid. This world completely lacks essence. It trembles in all directions. I longed to find myself a place unscathed, but I could not see it. Seeing people locked in conflict, I became completely distraught. But then I discerned here a thorn, hard to see, lodged deep in the heart. It's only when pierced by this thorn that one runs in all directions. So if that thorn is taken out, one does not run and settles down. Yeah, that the last time Eugene was teaching about fear a few weeks back, and the our capacity to turn toward it, to turn toward the thorn, rather than be reactive and trying to fix something by scrambling around, either in our minds or in our world. Um, yeah, our practice supports us to turn toward. And he was telling the story of when he had his bike accident that probably most of you know about. He had a traumatic brain injury and was hospitalized for a long time with multiple injuries. And um, he asked he told us that he's been asking his loved ones who were there to let him know what happened because he wasn't there. He was totally out of it, seemingly, wasn't conscious of what was happening. And so he was telling us that his son-in-law wrote a thing about what he observed, and that at one point that Eugene just went into a total trauma shaking reaction because he just, not surprising, he'd been through something really extreme, and he was just shaking all over. And then a voice just came out of him that said, "Let's go into this." And then he did whatever practice, like wasn't his conscious mind guiding it. It was like his years of practice took him in to go feel the thorn, right? And to take the thorn out. And his son-in-law watched him just drop out of the trauma reaction. So yeah, it was just hearing that story was what made me feel like, oh yes, I want to think and talk about this some more. Yeah, and there's all the fear that just comes with being alive, that we're not here forever and we die and all the loss and all the change and, like our vulnerability and the vulnerability of everyone we love and all of that. But, it's hard, it's intense. Life is intense that way. Those basic baked in existential realities, they evoke fear. Um, we all go through that. And then there's the extras that get added on top when it's more difficult times than usual, and I think these times qualify like that. And the fortunate thing is that our practice is the same, whatever the source is, whatever kind of fear it is. Our practice is the same. So those ordinary